is a lot of complementarities between our economies, no? What are the complementarities? We have the natural resource, we have land available, but we don't have capital and know-how. India has capital and know-how. This is our complementarity. We can join effort to take care of our land, to produce agriculture, to look at the mineral resources. We can benefit both sides. This is what we stressed during our meeting. And because we have problems of institution on both sides, we also stress the need of creating a clean, fair institution to deal with this new phase of our cooperation.
Let's talk about that lack of capital that you've just mentioned and the fear that global stakeholders or potential investors might have for countries going into debt with the likes of the IMF and the fear of default. What is Mozambique doing to protect itself from defaulting, as well as coming up with initiatives to start raising that necessary capital?
Absolutely, you are right. We have to follow the rules, IMF rules, to take care of our debt, to be rational on our debt. But on the other hand, you know that economy also run on expectation. Based on our natural resource already existing, such as coal, such as gas in the south, now we have tantalite. We just inaugurate a graphite. Means with these minerals in place, our export, our balance of payment will increase. As soon as we have gas, you can imagine what happened to the state revenue. This I'm talking to you about expectation. Yes, the debt is there. We can restructure the debt based on future income. What we are doing here is to call attention. Look, let's start now. The debt will be solved. The potential is there. It's a matter of the investor themselves. If they say no, we are going to move to other places. There is still Chinese who are interested, Japanese are interested, British. Who doesn't want gas? No, this is what our role here to call attention. Look, yes, we have to take care of our debt, we have to restructure it, but let's look to the future. And the time is now. If you are late, don't blame on us. The other will take the share.
And I like that you bring up the issue of gas. You've seen South Africa's power supply issues because of coal. And really, gas is an alternative that the government has been looking into. And I just want to get a sense from you if there have been conversations in terms of coming to an agreement for South Africa, to be importing amounts of gas from Mozambique.
Absolutely. You see, we already have people who want to buy gas, which make our gas sector even more stable. There are conversations, no? Sasol is talking to us to renew the contract and import gas. There are conversations at a different stage. Our law says that 25% of production should be for local market. But at the beginning, it's too much gas. We don't have petrochemical. We will have in the future. In meantime, the gas is for export. And why not export to our neighbor than to send it to Japan? Let's start with the neighbors. We are good neighbors now.
No, absolutely. Another issue is the fact that amongst other countries on the continent, Mozambique imports a vast amount of goods. And what is your department or the government doing in terms of initiating policies to turn this around so that you can become a net exporter? Some of the key sectors that you're hoping will help with this turnaround.
Let me say to you, we are importing a lot of food, but we have one of the big rivers in Africa, which is Zambezi. We have water and land to feed ourselves and to feed our neighbor. You should ask me why then we don't do that. Organization, manpower, and capital. With these three elements, capital, manpower, and organization, believe me, our land, it's more than sufficient to feed South Africa also. And you are very welcome as a business people from South Africa to invest in Mozambique. You have experience on business and agribusiness. We are there waiting for you to come, talk to us. We'll create enabling environment for you to invest.
And then just finally, if you could just elaborate on that enabling environment, the regulatory procedures, the policies that are in place. Is it easy to do business in Mozambique?
The intention is yes. We are working on the doing business framework, but there is things should be changed, which take time. One of the big constraints is our mindset. No, we have to be more business oriented. Take time. We have to put a new regulatory framework, but we are working very close to our private sector, not only in Mozambique. I was talking to the private sector here to understand what are the problems. We are taking all the claims very serious for changing as soon as possible. From fiscal point of view, also, our policy, we want a big base, fiscal base, than a small one with the big taxes. This is not the way to go. We want to push down the taxes to have more business people. In this way, we are sure that our economy is sustainable.